Greta Thunberg is a Swedish environmental activist who gained international recognition for her work on climate change. She was born on January 3, 2003, in Stockholm, Sweden. In August 2018, at the age of 15, Thunberg began skipping school to protest outside the Swedish parliament, demanding action to address the climate crisis. Her protests quickly gained attention, and she began attracting supporters and media coverage. Thunberg has since become a leading voice in the global movement to address climate change. She has spoken at numerous international events, including the United Nations Climate Action Summit, and has met with world leaders to call for more action on climate change. Thunberg's activism has inspired young people around the world to take action on climate change, and she has been recognized for her work with numerous awards and accolades, including being named Time magazine's Person of the Year in 2019. Greta Thunberg is a Swedish environmental activist who gained international recognition for her efforts to combat climate change. She was born on January 3, 2003, in Stockholm, Sweden, to parents who are both well-known actors in Sweden. At the age of 8, Thunberg learned about climate change for the first time in school and became deeply concerned about the issue. She was particularly alarmed by the lack of action being taken by politicians and world leaders to address the crisis. Thunberg began researching climate change on her own and eventually became convinced that urgent action was necessary to prevent catastrophic consequences. In August 2018, Thunberg began skipping school every Friday to protest outside the Swedish parliament, demanding that the government take more action to combat climate change. She held a sign that reads "Schools Strike for Climate," and her message quickly gained traction on social media. Within a few weeks, thousands of students around the world had joined her in the Fridays for Future movement, which called on young people to strike from school to protest climate change. Thunberg's activism soon caught the attention of international media, and she was invited to speak at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in December 2018. Her impassioned speech, in which she criticized world leaders for their inaction on climate change, went viral and earned her widespread praise and criticism. Since then, Thunberg has become one of the most prominent voices in the global climate movement, speaking at rallies and events around the world and meeting with world leaders to advocate for more action on climate change. She has also been the subject of numerous documentaries and has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize 3 times. Despite facing criticism and backlash from some quarters, Thunberg remains committed to her cause and continues to inspire young people around the world to take action on climate change. Here are some facts about Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg was born on January 3, 2003, in Stockholm, Sweden. She first became interested in climate change at the age of 8, after watching a documentary about the issue. Thunberg was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, and selective mutism when she was young. She started the Fridays for Future movement in August 2018, which involves students skipping school on Fridays to demand action on climate change. Thunberg has met with numerous world leaders, including Pope Francis and former US President Barack Obama, to advocate for more action on climate change. She has been the subject of numerous documentaries, including the 2019 documentary I Am Greta. In 2019, Thunberg was named Time magazine's Person of the Year. She has won numerous awards for her activism, including the Right Livelihood Award and the Gulbenkian Prize for Humanity. Thunberg has been the target of criticism and attacks from some politicians and public figures, but she has remained steadfast in her commitment to fighting climate change. Thunberg is a vegan and avoids flying, instead traveling by train or boat to reduce her carbon footprint.